Okay, our next question is from @Aaliyah, and she said, just started my coaching business online. Where do I get my ideal clients? Awesome question. And it's really about magnetizing your ideal clients to you. It's all about how you're showing up as a leader, how you're showing up as the solution to other people's problems, and being the magnet. Because if you're constantly asking yourself, where do I get my ideal clients? You're constantly telling the universe that you don't have them. And so instead of asking, where do I get them? It's like more so is like, how can I be an energetic match to my ideal clients? Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the quantum coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. It is time for the Q&A. I am so excited. I have never done a Q&A before on the podcast, which is kind of weird because it's such a great idea. So thank you to my podcast manager, Brett, for bringing this brilliant idea to us because I feel like it's going to be really, really helpful and inspiring. And I asked you guys to leave questions that were anything under the sun around business, around coaching, around personal life, anything that you want to know, I'm happy to answer. And we got a lot of questions that came through, and I didn't want to filter them. I didn't want to organize them in a certain way. I want to just read through them and give you my most organic answers. I don't want this to be planned out. I don't even want to edit this podcast, really. I want this to just be pure, downloads in the moment. So really excited for that. And I just got home this morning from being in Florida for 3 whole weeks. My soul needed that. It was amazing. It was I spent the first 4 days with my mom, and then Todd came down and we spent 5 days together, which was so needed for deep connection and, just disconnecting so we can reconnect and spend time together and be in the sun together and be on the beach. And it was just incredible. And then I got to go with my soul sisters. I feel like I manifested this. What are the odds that we pick a soul sister vacation to be in the same place that I was already going to be in? It just worked out so well, and I got to be with some of my amazing soul sisters, and it was just an extremely transformational, expanding time and week for me. I had a couple manifestations come through that I'm going to do separate podcast episodes on. A big vision board manifestation happened while I was away, and some other beautiful, beautiful breakthroughs. So I'm going to do a completely separate podcast on that because right now it's all about the Q&A. I know you've been waiting. I've been getting DMs when's the Q&A coming out? So without further ado, here we go. Okay, our first question is coming in hot. It is from withlove.michellej. Thanks for the question. And she said, what did you do before coaching and what led you to become a life coach? Okay, so I did a lot before coaching. I was a jack of all trades, master of none, it felt like. I did modeling back in the day. I worked in bottle service, and I worked in a nightclub at that time, and then I worked in a office job at a billboard advertising company. And that was cool because I learned about advertising and, outdoor advertising specifically. However, I realized that I literally cannot sit at a desk all day long. I literally fall asleep. It's not the place for me, especially if I have to sit at a desk and work for somebody else. I'd much rather do that for myself. I didn't know that at the time, but after that job, I ended up stepping away and getting my real estate license because my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, he worked in real estate with his family. And I was like, whoa, this could be really cool. I was like imagining myself showing houses and selling houses and getting dressed up and meeting different people and not being behind a desk and having my own schedule and helping people make big decisions. It actually encompassed a lot of qualities that I can now recognize I love in coaching. However, it wasn't for me. It wasn't my ultimate purpose. And I knew that. And so it was a really actually challenging time for a lot of reasons that I'm not going to get into right now. But in that process, I found yoga. And yoga is what led me to, I ended up leaving real estate, working at my yoga studio full time, making $10 an hour. And just was praying to God, asking God to show me the way, show me my purpose. What is it? I was ready for it. How can I serve? How can I help people? I knew I wanted to help people. I loved teaching yoga. I ended up getting certified. And so I would teach yoga, work at the front desk, and I was so happy at that time. But I also knew that there was so much more for me. And I didn't know what it was. And here's the thing. You might feel the same way right now, but you might not know exactly what it is. And a lot of people are realizing that coaching is actually their calling. And so that's kind of what happened to me was I was always the one that people would come to. I was always the advice giver. I was always the safe space for people. And I realized that I was sharing energy with people in that way my whole life. I mean, when I was 13 babysitting, the mom would come home and like pour her heart out to me and talk to me like I was an adult and confide in me. And so I started putting the pieces together. And one time I was at one of my dear friend Kelly's wedding, and her friend came up to me, I saw her friend there who I had had previous conversations with, and she was absolutely glowing on the dance floor. And some of you have heard this story. And I went up to her and I was like, Carly, you are glowing right now. And you look amazing and all that stuff. And she was like, Ashley, you changed my life. We had a conversation. And I was just blown away by that. And in that moment, I realized, oh, life coaching, like, is that a thing? I had no idea. No clue. So that was the catalyst. And that's what I did before I became a coach and what led me to being a coach. And that really brings me to my next question, which is, how did I start getting clients? This question is from Queen Kirk Manifests. And the way I started getting clients was when I was working at the yoga studio. People would come in and they'd be late for class, and then they wouldn't be able to get into class because they were too late, and then they'd be very frantic about it. And I would end up talking to them. And I would just talk to everybody that came into the studio. What do you do? How are you feeling? What's up? Like, just getting to know people. I'm a very outgoing extrovert, and people would start to open up to me, and they would ask me the same things. And I started to say, I am a manifestation coach, and I can help you if you want help. I can work with you for free. And so I started working with people for free, which I don't recommend to do, but I did it for a couple reasons. One, because I wanted to see if I was actually good at coaching. And two, because I didn't value myself. I didn't value my gifts, my natural gifts, right? We have gifts. We all have them. And they're natural to us. So we don't think we should charge money for them because it's just who we are, right? So that was a whole other lesson. And I realized, as I was working with these clients, I started really helping them. And at the same time, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to go get certified. I need to get educated. And if I'm going to do this and become a coach and go in this direction, I want to be the best possible coach I can be. And so I started getting clients by just telling people that I'm available to work with. And then when I did start to charge for coaching, it was when somebody handed me $65 and she's like, you're changing my life. You deserve to keep this money. And I was like, oh my God, money, no. And then I ended up taking a selfie with it, sent it to my husband. I was like, I just got paid for coaching. What? Because the journey to that point for my husband and I was very much he always supported me in the fact that I never knew what I wanted to do. I was always very lost in our relationship. Like, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my thing is. Like, what am I here for? And he was always just like, I don't care if you make any money at all. Just be happy, which I feel so blessed for because it really took the pressure off of me to like figure it out super quickly and gave me the space to let it come to focus for me. And then start to take action on it as it started to come to focus. And I didn't have the full vision. Like, did I have the vision then that I was going to start my own coaching certification and teach quantum coaching techniques and methods to my clients and to my students? Absolutely not. Like, no. And that's the beauty of it, is like, you don't have to know how it's all going to come to fruition. You just have to trust and take that next logical step for yourself. Let it come into focus and trust that and take that next logical step for yourself. And that was very much my journey. Like, I knew real estate wasn't for me and I had to trust that feeling and take the next step, which was working at my yoga studio, right? And then I had to take the next step, which was putting myself out there to be a coach. And then I had to take the next step. I had someone come into the yoga studio who started to see me, posting on social media, like, I'm a coach now, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And she was like, hey, I have an office space for you if you want an office space. And I was like, what? That's wild. Like, I was so scared, but I had to trust it. Like, it came into focus. I trusted it. It was $500 a month. I split it with another coach, another friend that I knew was doing coaching as well. And it was a scary investment at the time. $250 a month was scary for me, but I had to trust that. And another question that we received was from Hey Alanon, and she said, when you do one-on-one sessions, do you blend coaching and advising? What's your best tip? I love this question because I'm obviously obsessed with the craft of coaching. And my best tip for this is, like, coaching is all about helping the client discover what is already within themselves and trusting that the client is always the expert at their own life and trusting that the client has all of the answers inside of them. And as much as coaching may seem like you're giving advice and you're advising, it's actually not that at all. Coaching is really about asking powerful questions and having the client figure out the answers for themselves. And if you think back on your life, whenever you've discovered or had a breakthrough around yourself, around your life, around anything, I can almost guarantee it was something that you came up with on your own. Maybe somebody helped pull it out of you, but it didn't come from them telling you something, right? And advice is very much telling someone what you think is best for them or what you think they should do. And sometimes that advice doesn't land. I've given so much advice in my life that's fallen on deaf ears. I've given so much advice that I've wasted my breath. And if only I was skilled at listening and asking powerful questions and techniques to help someone have a powerful transformation that included zero advice giving. So in my one-on-one sessions, I typically don't advise. In business coaching, I do mix coaching with consulting, and that's a different story. But when you're helping someone discover something for themselves, you want to be able to be masterful in your craft as a coach, which is what I'm so passionate about teaching in QCA, to be able to frame it in a way that's a powerful question. An example of this is in QCA right now, we have mentor coaching. So the students have a mentor and I have mentors in the program, and they get 6 one-on-one 30-minute sessions with me and with other mentors and whoever your mentor is, right? And so one of my mentors is a very powerful psychic, and she gets beautiful downloads for her clients. And so her next level and her, like, what I want to help her master is to not just tell people what the downloads are, right? So for example, if she told me, hey, when you have a baby, balancing your business and baby is how are you, like, that's going to be a challenge for you. And so instead of saying that to me, right, how could she have asked me that in a powerful way? Right? How can you take something that might be disempowering for someone and empower them with it? So she could have just simply asked like, hey, is there anything showing up for you energetically around like how you're going to balance your business and your baby? And I could say, no, I worked through that, right? Like it's all about how you can ask a powerful question to get a powerful answer. So the quality of your questions will be the quality of your answers. I could literally talk about coaching all day long. Which actually leads into another question we have from the beautiful Jess Nickel. She said, entrepreneurship equals freedom. How are you planning on handling maternity leave? I love this because she's inferring that I'm going to be pregnant and I'm feeling like it's going to happen soon from this message that she sent to me. And so everything that I am creating in my business right now, everything that we're creating in Quantum Coaching Academy, like my whole business is centered around this coaching certification because I want to be the number one industry leading coaching certification program. And I look at that as like, you know, if you want to get braces, you're not going to go to the dentist. You're going to go to the orthodontist, right? You're going to go to the expert of that craft. And so if someone is looking for a coaching certification, I want them to go to the place, like the school, not someone that has a million offers, but also has a coaching certification. Someone that is like living, breathing coaching certification, right? And so everything that I'm setting up for QCA is to scale and is to take me to another level of freedom in the business. So it's something that I do think about all the time. And we're setting up funnels and systems and nurture sequences and like a lot of like foundational things in the background, not foundational, like strategic things so that I can be in full alignment with taking off when that time comes. And creating space is definitely something that I'm working on right now in all areas of my life. And letting go of like the rigidity in schedule, in like needing to be on calls all the time, and like really creating more space for myself and in my schedule so that I can serve my clients at the highest level and be able to serve myself at the highest level too. So I love that question, Jess. Thank you for that. And Jess Nickel is a graduate of QCA, also an amazing soul, amazing coach, amazing mom, amazing human. So check her out at Jess L. Nickel on Instagram. And that leads into our next question from at the Chelsea Holden, who is also in QCA. And she said, when did you decide to outsource grocery/meal prep and how has it impacted y'all? I love that. So talking about creating space, right? I love how this is all kind of flowing together. My intuition is just leading me to the perfect questions to make this flow. So meal prep and laundry has been like such a huge space creator for Todd and I. It's been an expansion for us. Laundry and grocery shopping are not my zones of genius. It's not my favorite things to do. Meal prepping, not my favorite things to do. Yes, it can be easy, it can be done, it can be simple. However, we realized that the time that we were spending doing all of that would be well spent, better spent in other places, whether it's spending the afternoon together or getting work done or exercising or doing other things. And so we found our amazing helper on care.com, highly recommend it. And it's $20 an hour, it's 5 hours a week. So budgeting for that has been life-changing and 1,000% worth the investment and has given us a huge return on our investment. And so when you invest in things like that, thinking about the return on investment of like time, and the question that you asked is like, how has it impacted us? It's really impacted the one thing that you can never get back, which is your time. But if you're someone who enjoys doing all of that, then do it. But for me, I was finding myself not eating lunch and not nourishing myself the way that I needed to in order to sustain the work that I do. So for us, it's been such a game changer, not only financially saving money, by meal prepping and having our own food in the house, but saving our time and also being healthier overall. Like, it really does make me healthier. And then while she's cooking, she does our laundry, which is just an added bonus because laundry was one thing that would just pile up, and Todd would always do the laundry anyway. Wasn't my forte, and he's very like picky the way he likes it done. So that was just another really great way for us to maximize our time. So I highly recommend, if that's something that sparks for you, to take action on that and look into it. And another thing that we did, just a side note, is we had to look at how much we were spending on eating out every single night of the week and buying lunches every single day. And so hiring her actually is saving us money. And also it feels really high vibe to have this beautiful service in our life. So there's that point of it too. Okay, our next question is from @Aliyah Nuru. Hello. And she said, just started my coaching business online. Where do I get my ideal clients? Awesome question. So I'm actually coming out with a course on this. It's going to be a $27 mini course. It's called Big Closer Energy, and it's literally all about this. And it's really about magnetizing your ideal clients to you. And I would say that it's all about how you're showing up as a leader, how you're showing up as the solution to other people's problems, aka your ideal clients' problems, and being the magnet. Because if you're constantly asking yourself, where do I get my ideal clients? You're constantly telling the universe that you don't have them. And so instead of asking, where do I get them? It's like more so is like, how can I be an energetic match to my ideal clients and call them in with my energy, with my messaging, and with my positioning. And so I go into in this course like a little bit around all of these areas, how to message yourself to be magnetic and potent, but also how to position yourself as the expert and show up as the expert in your certainty and conviction of how you serve people, and also how to show up as the solution to your ideal client's problems. So Aliyah, I would ask yourself, are you solving a very specific problem for your ideal client? And if you are, great. And if you are confused by that question, I would say start to get more clear around that, because business is simple when you break it down to realizing that you have a solution through your product or course or service to someone's problem. You just have to know what their problem is and really show up as the solution to that. Moving right along, from @StoneFox. She said, true or false, manifesting during an orgasm works? ? I really did hear. If so, tell me more. This is so good. So manifesting with that sexual energy, that creatrix energy, is so powerful, right? If you think about the sacral chakra, your like where your sex organs are and where your orgasms come from, it comes from pleasure. It comes from play. It comes from that deep like sense of self-fulfillment. And so does it work? Yes, 100% it works. And you really want to focus your desires on when you are self-pleasuring or when you are in partnership with someone, like in a sexual way, and creating a collective intention together, right? It's like in those moments of extreme pleasure, what is your intention? And it's not like you have to focus on it 100% of the time. It's just setting the intention even beforehand that is what you're creating. That's what you're generating. And thinking about orgasms, right? That's where life is created. Like all of life comes from that. All of life comes from those two energies coming together. And it's so powerful. So really harnessing the power of the orgasm to create is such an amazing way to manifest, and also thinking about like that divine feminine energy that is flowing through your sacral root chakras, allowing that divine feminine expression, goddess-like energy to move through your being. Like that is the creatrix energy. That is the most magnetic, potent energy in the universe. And learning how to harness that and work with that is something that I'm actually working on right now, which is super cool that you asked that question. Okay, I'm going to answer one more question for this episode, and then I'm going to transition into a part 2 for the next episode. And I'm seeing all these manifestation questions, so I'm going to try and put them all together for you guys. So this question is from @KelseyBendel. Hey girl, hey. She said, how did you gain confidence to become a life coach? Do I need to have it all together first? This is a great question. And the first thing that comes to my mind is you are a human, right? You might be a coach. You might be helping people with their life and their relationships or their health or their business or whatever. And at the same time, you are having a human experience, which means you are not perfect, and you don't have to be perfect in order to be a coach. You don't have to have your whole life together in order to be successful, a successful coach. You are a work in progress. And I think that that's what it means to be in integrity as a coach, is to be doing the work endlessly alongside of your clients, alongside of the people in your life. So no, you don't have to have it all together. And how to gain confidence to become a coach. I mean, the first thing that I did to gain confidence was to know how to coach, because just because you have life experience doesn't make you a coach, right? It makes you wise. It helps you become a storyteller. But if you want to be a coach, learn how to coach. And so I always say to start with getting certified, getting a handle on the craft, the art, the strategy of coaching is the number one way to build a sustainable business and have clients have breakthroughs and transformation. And those breakthroughs and transformation then ripple out, creating testimonials and social proof. And so, the confidence for me really came from knowing how to coach, knowing the craft of coaching, and being really confident in my ability to help someone have a breakthrough. Okay, I know I said that was the last question, but @CarlyIta.ba, who is such a beautiful soul, my girl Carly, she is on Team BAM. She helps run this beautiful business that you see in front of you today. And she said, what makes you 100% sure that this is your life's purpose? What was that verifying moment? And I just want to reaffirm that moment happened when I was at that wedding and I was on the dance floor, and that girl told me, her name was Carly too, that I changed her life. That was like that defining moment. But what I want to say about this, you might not have a defining moment. You might not have that aha moment that's like, oh my God, this is what I'm meant to do. It might show up differently for you. It might be more subtle. It might be the whispers that call you, right? And I think really over and over again, it's about following that inner voice, following that passion, following that intuitive nudge that tells you to listen to this podcast or enroll in this coaching certification or, look into X, Y, or Z, right? Like it's all about following that internal nudge. If you can get really clear on how to access that nudge and follow that, your path will unfold before your eyes, before your heart, before you. Like your path will unfold before you, and you will look back and be like, whoa, I'm doing it. I'm in my purpose. I'm living it. I'm experiencing it. I'm embodying it. And you're going to feel that on a very deep level. So thank you, Carly, for your question. And I can't wait to answer all these manifestation questions in part 2. So I'll see you guys next week for part 2 of the Q&A. Make sure you tag me. Let me know what was your favorite part of this episode, what your biggest takeaway was. Let's strike up a conversation. And I do want to say that the waitlist is now open for the Quantum Coaching Academy. And there is a way to save $1,000 on your enrollment by joining the waitlist. And if you leave a $500 deposit, which is 100% refundable, that will lock you into your $1,000 discount on your tuition. So if this is something that's calling to you, I want to invite you to join the waitlist. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to my website under Work With Me. You'll see Quantum Coaching Academy. It will automatically bring you to the waitlist at manifestwithash.com. And so I want to invite you, if you feel that nudge, if that nudge is there for you, to act on it. And maybe acting on it is as simple as just putting your name in for a waitlist. Could it be that simple? I think so. All right, I can't wait for part 2. To be continued. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for listening. Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at Manifest with Ash. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.